All right. We are live.
Hello, world. Welcome to Alabama Skeleton Key.
Oh, goodness. We'll give it a little bit of just kind of
See if any,
hanging out.
see if anybody comes on. We're having technical issues over here, so I'm waiting on my computer to do its thing. Hopefully, it will come up. In the meantime, I can't see if we do have anybody viewing. Do we have anyone out there? Jess, can you tell?
Not that I am seeing so far. No.
We might be getting sooner on my computer now.
So far, no. Ooh, I can confirm it posted to the Spirit page.
I guess technically I'm not
Oh,
here.
now we've got three people viewing.
Hey, everybody.
Hi. Oh,
Well,
there's Steve. There's Stevie. She's watching.
we're still having technical difficulties over here. Came over here so we wouldn't have technical difficulties, and we're still having technical difficulties.
It wouldn't be us without technical difficulties.
Right, excuse us. It's the first time, y'all. We'll get it.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Look, I'm over here trying to use William's mouse to control my. That's not going to work.
Oh, yeah. And excuse me for being laid back a little bit tonight. I had surgery yesterday, so that was fun. Oh, you can see me in the background of Terry's video over there.
Oh,
Hi.
hey, sorry. No, you got my hand shot. We think we're gonna get my computer up here in just a second, so we should have a better view here. Hopefully.
All of your views are good
Where
views.
I'm not holding the camera and bouncing around. We're trying. Bear with us here.
We are. We are. We will only get better with age, we promise.
Actually,
Oh, mood lighting.
William is getting this mood lighting. I get. Do we look better in the dark, William?
He made them red.
Ah, we're
Red
good
is
with red.
fine. We're good with red.
We're good with red. How did my computer log on?
And Dawn Marie Kelch says hello.
Hey, Dawn.
Thank you for joining us.
And like I said, bear with us. We're having technical difficulty. We are really going to get going here in a minute. Oh, I need to.
You have to
Look, I'm
connect to
still
my
trying
internet.
Williams.
Uh, Jacqueline Fleming Crossland says hello.
Hey, Jackie. This is y'all right here, the My Spectrum.
Yeah, you can do the 5 or 2, whichever one it's.
I'm going to come over there so you can type in here.
Uh,
Y'all bear with me. We're getting a password. We might get somewhere with my computer. Ooh. Y'all like.
oh, you got to turn the camera around. Oh, you're showing them your.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. I'm showing you and William over there in the bed.
Well, no, that's not what I was thinking. Oh, no.
Are y'all getting an echo through my phone and her?
I don't think I'm loud enough on yours to echo into here.
How's y'all sound quality over there? Go ahead and log me in and stuff. Get me there.
I can do that.
I probably will have to disconnect here on the live stream right for just a second. Y'all, we're so sorry. I apologize to everybody that's on Things Network And like I said, I came over here because I was having technical difficulties and got over here and we still had technical difficulties. Jess just had surgery yesterday. So, we're having to accommodate and get to her.
She appreciates it very much.
So, and everybody send good vibes and well wishes to her. So she's back up on her feet. I think she's about to smack the little husband over there.
Yes, yes,
And
I was.
the little husband is kind of a inside joke, but the little husband is Jess's husband. Um, for the future viewers, I'm sure you'll get to know a lot about the little husband. Oops, sorry, I'm covering you with my thumb here. All right, hold on, we'll be back. I'll be back.
Yeah, and then you just click Enter Studio.
Okay, so I'm not in the studio yet.
I do not want to leave William alone, Jesse. Thank you very much. He's misbehaving, aren't you?
He is being a brat.
Yes, he's being a brat. And hi, Howard. I see that Howard tuned in.
Hey, we're gonna.
Probably. They could probably hear you a little bit. Jesse says we can spank him then.
Thanks.
No, we actually ended up going through StreamYard like you had suggested, and we're very happy with it. We're still kind of learning it, but we did end up going through StreamYard, and all right, and Terry is back with us. We just had to get her laptop had an update. There you are.
Hey, yeah, of course. Can you hear me okay, Jess?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just had to get updates the minute it plugged in. Figures.
As usual.
So, Jess, I guess we're now 7 minutes into it. If you want to go ahead and start the show. We've already shared it into all of our groups and stuff,
Yes.
right? So we don't even need to worry about that.
Yep.
Well, you can go ahead and start the show if you'd like, now that you've had to beat William.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. So basically, we're Alabama skeleton people.
Are you muted?
Yes, because I can hear me through you.
Got you. Okay. Do I need to unplug this mic?
Uh,
Or you good? You good just doing it this way? You good?
I think I can do it this way.
Okay.
So we are Alabama Skeleton Key, and this was kind of a brainchild that Terry and I came up with. Um,
Thanks to the Things Network. Let me go ahead and
Yes.
plug the Things Network right here, and Mr. Howard Petrie, because he's the one that introduced me to the Things Network.
Absolutely.
We're glad to be here. Thank
came
y'all.
up with this and decided that we wanted to kind of go over the different legends and hauntings and abandoned places and spooky things in Alabama.
The dark stuff.
Yeah, things that go bump in the night. And but we also wanted it to be an outlet to talk about the fact that we're both practicing witches. We may go over some things like that. We'll talk about what we do on the spirit investigation team as well.
Right, and if there's something y'all want to know about us, feel free to ask. We may not answer, but go ahead and ask. If there's something about Alabama, the dark stuff. We don't want to look up your average stuff. We want the dark, creepy stuff. You'll find all of our information, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Hit us up, send us a message if there's something you want us to look up. We'll do what we can.
Yes, we will. And this is going to be a wonderful thing, I think. We're going to do. We're going to be a skeleton key of sorts. You know, we open everything.
Just stick that key in and open the door. Let's see where we go.
Come on in and get spooky.
Yeah, come on in. Let's get spooky. Let's see what happens.
So I guess tonight we wanted to kind of talk about who we are, what we do. So Terri, you started Spirit, which is how we met, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
We got to know each other better.
I knew of Jess because my daughter, and Jess's husband, the little husband over there, were really good friends when they were very small children. I'm talking like 7, 8 years old. So, and I knew that he married Jess and everything. And then, yes, it was the paranormal that got Jess and I connected.
Yes, it was. And I don't remember. I think you messaged me out of the blue one day and asked me if I wanted to go.
Actually, Jessie, my oldest daughter, I'm surrounded by Jessicas, y'all. I cannot even begin to tell you how many Jessicas are in my life. Jessicas and Libras. I attract Jessicas and Libras. Anyway, we had gotten to a strange case in Florida, and I was looking for another female, basically to ride down there with me, long road trip. And Jessie, my daughter, prefers to be Jessie, with an I, told me that she'd been talking to you and you were really interested. And I told her, hey, send her a message, because remember, it was an emergency case and we were going to like drop everything and go that night. And so, yeah, that's kind of how you got in. She sent you that message, and from there, it's history.
Yep, basically. Are you clicked on the chat over there?
I am looking at because I can't see if we have anybody viewing from my angle here. Wait a minute. I just remembered something. How? There we go. Hey, now I can see y'all talking. So do we still all these people still viewing?
Looks like we're at 11.
Very cool. Well, welcome to Alabama Skeleton Key, y'all. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concern? We do have, speaking of concerns, we just have a little waiver that we would like to throw out, and I'm going to flip it back to Jess for that.
I'm going to mute. There we go. Okay, I'm going to mute you while I talk so that way it's not coming through that mic. Yes, we want to make sure that everybody knows that, yes, I know we ended up being in the same room to film tonight, that we were having technical difficulties, so I'm going to kind of try to mute back and forth. We just want to make sure everybody knows that no matter what we talk about here, we're not trying to belittle anyone's beliefs. We're not trying to push one religious system over the other. We have really no opinion, nothing but respect in that way. Even if we are, telling a story that is a little more jokey or acting like we don't believe something, we're not saying that it's not okay for you to believe in it. We're just sharing our opinions here. And then we had talked about, am I missing anything?
I don't think so, just to let everybody know that we're never dissing anyone's beliefs or anyone's beliefs in investigation, spiritual, but we are real, and we're gonna talk about stuff. We might be a little bit R-rated at times because we are both afflicted with this what we call it, how they got the RBF for the resting face. Well, we have something called biker sailor mouth. And then we'll just leave that to you, and you'll figure it out, the biker sailor mouth, because we do try when we're live, we're going to try to edit ourselves, but we probably aren't going to be a real like kid friendly show. Um, at least 15 and up, I would say. Want to kind of filter them a little bit depending on your beliefs.
So, yeah, did we were gonna have another person join us this evening. Was there? Did you get a message back about that?
I have not. Let's see here. May
I want to say thank you, Jerry, and welcome Joshua and Cade, and Jackson's apparently shouting grandma.
Hey Jackson, that's my oldest grandson. And yes, thank you, Jerry. We appreciate it. And Kay, thank you for the well said. And Joshua, we're pretty excited to be here too. It's a little nerve wracking. I am usually behind the camera. I don't like getting on camera at all. And I've let all these people convince me that it would be okay. I would be safe. I would be safe on the World Wide Web. Who thinks maybe the World Wide Web is not safe with me? Let's think about that for a minute.
Yeah, Cade is actually my best friend. They've joined to watch this evening.
Oh, welcome, Kate. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So I guess do we want to? Oh, I forgot. Do we want to do a little talking about our most what the most recent thing we did was the grist mill. Do we want to give a little bit of talking about that because we've just finished doing a month of tours with them.
Sure, absolutely. And welcome, Jenny from Ireland. So excited to have someone from across the ocean. Um, we probably want to pick your brain about some things sometime over there, about your customs and stuff. We'd love to talk to you about that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Jess was talking about what we've been doing lately. The Kaimolga Grist Mill in Childersburg, Alabama, is a historical park and covered bridge. It's, I think, one of the only covered bridges that's remained in its original location. I think Jess and the little husband over there have done a lot of research on that. So I'm gonna flip it back and let y'all talk about a little bit about the history. Um, get the little husband to tune in over there with you.
William, would you like to tune in and say anything about the history of the Kamoga grist mill? He's going to abandon me. That's what he's going to do. So he just took off, exit stage left. So I'll actually go ahead and first pull up their because they've got it kind of written out very very well on their website.
Yeah, let's share their stuff for sure. Y'all are looking for, if you're in Alabama, you're looking for a place to go camping, or just a place to go for a walk, or they do. William, I know you're back there. You can at least answer this question. What was it, disc golfing or something like that?
Frisbee golf.
Frisbee golf. They do canoeing, renting canoes or kayaks and little boats out. It's a real. What'd you say, William?
Fly fishing.
Yeah, fly fishing. I mean, it's a really, really cool place. And through October, we had a haunted hayride out there. We also did paranormal tours, kind of give people an idea of what it's like to be a paranormal investigator. Some people that were there did actually have experiences, which was very cool. It's always nice when the public can, when they're paying to get something and it happens. So I will throw a little waiver there. Spirit makes no money for what we do. Even when we do something like that, all that money went to the Kaimoga Grits Mill. I was very proud to present them with a $575 check today.
And there, if you do want to go check out a little bit, their website and some of their stuff that they have, it's kimolgagristmill.com. Um, but the history of the grist mill and the covered bridge, the building is 3 stories high on the front and 4 on the back. 3 of them you actually can get to from inside the front door. There are stairs, but the other one you actually have to come out and go all the way around and under the mill to get to, which was, it was a creepy little area. Very creepy little area.
If you go like our Facebook page and go to our Facebook group here in the next week, we've had computer issues. My tech guy just got my computer back to me. He's actually building me a better system now, so that I won't have to run to Jess every time I have an issue and to come over to her house and broadcast from here. But anyway, when we get all this straightened out, we're gonna have pictures of the grits mill. We're now reviewing some of that audio that we had with the public tours. We kind of have access to go in anytime, so we're going to go in and hopefully get some really good audio. We've had some good EVP sessions, but unfortunately, we didn't really save much of it because we knew that we were going to be there all the time. Stupid, no, but we used a spirit box, and I really don't like recording from those because it's so loud and it's so annoying. And when you're trying to listen for EVP, I just like regular plain old EVP without spirit box or apps or anything like that, personally.
Well, and another thing, first off, Jessie Wilson, thank you. She put the link for the Kamoga grist mill in the chat, so thank you. Um,
Tree from Louisiana.
and hello, Sam Thomas as well.
Oh, sorry, that one got by me. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, Miss Yvette?
And I'll continue. Another reason we had to discard a lot of the audio was the fact that it simply put audio pollution. We had the sound from the river that was rushing underneath. We had the sound, we're surrounded by trees, so we had the sound of uh, crickets, and it was almost every single bit of audio was polluted that was taken outside, and the ones inside were not much better. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to hope we caught something really obvious on the video cameras, because we did go in with night vision this time, which is the first time we've been able to use our new night vision camera.
Right. And I accidentally left my trail camera out there.
Oh yeah.
And we investigated with the public on Saturday night. Saturday night. I'm telling y'all, Saturday night. Sunday night, about 3 o'clock Monday morning, I sat straight up out of bed and had, I left the trail camera at the mill. And knowing they've been open to the public and people just touring around in there, and and of course I wanted to call the grits mill guys at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, oh my God, I've left my camera there, y'all. But I didn't. I anxiously awaited until Monday morning. About 8:30 was as long as I could wait, and called him like, oh my God, I left my camera out there. And he called me back a couple hours later when he had a chance to go look for it. And 1,385 pictures I've got to review. 1,385 pictures. So William is typing in there. The little husband is chiming in.
Oh yeah. So what he's talking about is the Kaimolga grist mill and covered bridge. It was supposed to be destroyed. The Union had sent soldiers to destroy it, or all of the grist mills in the area, but they actually went to the wrong one, and that's the only reason that it wasn't destroyed. So
Mr. Ron, the manager at the grits mill, actually told us that when the soldiers came looking for, and I guess the Kaimolga grits mill was like neutral ground, so they were really wanting to destroy it. When they came looking for it, they went too far south. They hit Sylacauga, Alabama, a mill down there, and of course they burnt that one down. And then they they told them when they were asked where the Kaimoga grits mill was, the people of Sylacauga weren't going to give it up, and told them keep going south, you'll hit it. And by the time they got to Florida, they'd sent the scout out to tell them that they had gone too far and it was back up north. And by the time the troops came turning around and came back this way, the war ended. So the Kaimoga grits mill still stands.
Yep. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And Jenny actually had a question for us there. I think she got because William typed in right after her. She asked, "Can she ask what got both of us into the paranormal field?"
Absolutely. First of all, let's say hello, Christine. Thank you for joining us. And for me, it was living. I had this what we call now referred to as the ghost lamp when we moved into not the house I'm in now, but the house before. We had this lamp that would just come on. My kids will, everybody will testify. Everybody was in the house. It would almost come on command. So we couldn't say that it was anything electrical because when it was in those moods, and you could say I mean, it was like intelligent response. And my nephew committed suicide in Iowa. His sister and dad, the family had joined us for Thanksgiving the following year. And I had talked to Justin, the whole time they were traveling down and saying, okay, I know you've been here and I know you're coming through this light. So when your sister gets here, you need to prove to her that I'm not crazy. And he absolutely did. And when she was leaving, you could tell she was sitting at the kitchen table and she was looking at the lamp. And, I could tell she was having a moment with Justin, and it had been going on, all week while they were there. And I could tell she was having a moment with him. And this light, you touch it once and it lights, and second time it's brighter, and the third time it's really bright. And when she was having her moment with the lamp, it lit up really bright. And, you just knew, you felt it was Justin. So that's kind of what started paranormal for me. I had seen a flyer somewhere. I was out grocery shopping one day and seen something about a local paranormal team. And I thought, that's interesting. I need to check that out because, of course, I'm living. We had a blue light flash through my dining room to the back door or something. I wasn't in the room. My kids could see that. Hello, Paranormal Nation Radio. Welcome to the show. Um, but anyway, my kids, my husband, I think there was a house full of people. I was napping that day. A blue light shot from my dining room to like the stove, I think it was, and then towards the back door. If my daughters, Stephanie, Stevie, I think Jesse was there that day too. So maybe they could, type in and tell us a little bit more how that blue, whatever they saw, kind of shot that day. And funny, I think I woke up like seconds after this had happened to them. So it was through all that and then seeing that flyer, and I reached out to a few teams, had one reach out to me. I went and studied under them for a little bit and went on some investigations with them and a couple of other teams, and eventually Spirit was born.
Yep. And not too long after Spirit was born, I actually. How long after Spirit was born did I join? Yeah, it wasn't long at all. Um, so I have been, part of this for most of its life. But my history with paranormal actually started when I was pretty young. My big paw died, which was my great grandfather, and he had been a lifelong smoker. He lived in the back room down the hall at my nanny's house, which was his daughter's house. And after he passed, every now and then when you would walk past his room, you would smell a fresh cigarette lit up. And there's a difference between that stale smoke and the fresh smoke. So every time you would hear it, and it would you every now and then you would hear what sounded like him shuffling around in there, and of course he wasn't there. But being where I grew up, very very big Church of God Pentecostal area, that was we don't talk about those kinds of things. Period. So we kind of stamped it out. And then when we got older and we actually moved up here to Pelham, Alabama, the bed that I got came out of my on my mom's side of the family, my great grandmother's house, and she had passed away there. And we got it in my room. We had newly painted it, and I stood in front of it, and I was going to sit down. I was first time I was alone in the bedroom with that bed, and something grabbed me by the back of the shirt and yanked me down onto the bed, and there was nothing there. So at that point, I was old enough to not uh, let them, you know, tell me that I was crazy. And I just kind of was like a dog with a bone, and eventually became a practicing witch and met Terry later. And the rest was history. And Tom has actually joined us.
Is he in the show now?
Yeah, finally.
Yay! You made it.
We're
And
glad to have you.
this is Tom Holland. And if you've been to our website, Big Daddy Warbucks has now entered the building.
Yeah, well, my laptop is in the next room and it's in pieces now because I threw it away. Damn it.
Tom, we were having the same issue over here. It's like something was trying to prevent us all from being here tonight, but damn it, we made it.
There you go.
And Jenny, you're very welcome. Thank you for the question. Give us questions because it gives us something to talk about. Now that Tom has joined us, we can ask him the same. Now, Tom is part of our team. He is our legal guy. He goes over all of our legal documents that we need to go over. He teaches some classes for us. And we're going to let Tom kick over here and tell us what got you into paranormal, Tom.
Well, thank you, Terry. Got to spend years. I had a personal experience with the paranormal. Uh, it was shortly after my mother died, and I did a thing with my two youngest grandsons, and I didn't see it on visually, but after we did the video, there was an orb that circled the two boys and then stopped and then disappeared. Now, understand, my youngest grandson loved his grandma, and she loved him, and they spent hours and hours together before she died. So I think it was just her coming back to check on him.
Right, right. I absolutely believe that those things like that happen too.
By the way, at the end of the day, your documents you sent over to our new client were perfect. I only had one little problem with it, but other than that, it was perfect, perfect diamond document.
Is he talking about the proposal?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
proposal.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I did that myself.
Well, you go, girl.
And we'll talk about what your little problem. I think I probably already know,
Yeah, you
but
do.
but but you see, we did break it down too, and that's exactly what we're gonna. And Tom, they really lit up. Because they did have me stand up and talk about it for a minute, and let them know what I was proposing.
Right.
And when I told them that we wanted to put Wi-Fi in there, cameras to monitor for paranormal activity, after I said, no, we'll shut it off during open hours if y'all want us to, but we can run it for security for y'all if you want. They lit up about that.
Oh yeah, I bet they did.
So, it's not like we're doing that for money. And then, on that discounted that, for the private tours that we're going to do, the spirit, the equipment thing is eating that discount.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's not, Grits Mill is going to get their $25 per ticket. And, we can, it's all in the air. We let them run it to them and let them see what they're going to say.
Well, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Jenny
So,
actually has another good question. She wants to know, did anything ever frighten us on an investigation to a point that made us think, ooh, am I staying or am I going? And yes, And it was actually, for me, it was an experience I shared with Terry the other night.
Well, I'm going to say there's been a couple of locations for me. One was the Memorial Mound in Bessemer, Alabama. If you do not know about that, you should look into it.
I know it.
Yes, yes, we went inside in there and ooh ick. Just the I there was some interesting paranormal sensation thing, but nothing that really just jumped right out. And just the feeling of where you were and what had taken place there. Um, the other place I'm going to say is the same place that Jess is talking about, and that would be what we refer to as Graceland. And no, I'm not talking about where Elvis was born or came from. I'm talking about a house that my parents bought. It's local here in Alabama, and we quite by accident, it was loaded with stuff, and we found that it was haunted when we were cleaning this stuff out. It was me and a guy there cleaning. I was just kind of there supervising the hired help, and we heard footsteps go through, and then we heard like something crashing. And I'm not going to get into all that right now because y'all, we're going to talk a lot about there's so much of Graceland. We will talk a lot about that on this show, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that in that moment, I knew I needed to get the team in there and investigate, and we did. And there's so much activity there. It's crazy, 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 crazy. So that place here, the last official spirit investigation there, I did have a moment where I was trying to do an EVP session in a room where we now have my grandmother's stuff stored, and she's never been in there. She died before my parents got the house. So I thought my grandma's stuff in there, I'm safe. I can go in here and do an EVP session. That was not the case. Whatever something came, I don't want to say it threw me and give the impression that it threw me, but something came through the room that I felt. And in that moment, I thought, if I don't leave here now, I'm going to die. And I exited, not running, but yeah, I collected my things. I got up and went straight outside and, took a deep breath, grounded myself, collected myself, and went right back in because I feel like I can't let them run me out. You can't show fear. You got to get.
Yeah.
Well, you are leaving
Let me
out.
chime in there.
Oh, go ahead.
I've probably done in Georgia a little over 30 investigations, Terry. And the one that really, really set me back was, and I'll tell you the city, Milledgeville, Georgia. And we walked in, there were 4 other team members there. And within 20 minutes, I told everyone to leave, and I left because I felt a demonic presence that, Terry, I have never felt that much energy and negative energy in my entire life. I mean, to the point where it made me sweat. I couldn't, I had to leave. So
Now, I will chime in here and say, now, I definitely know what you're talking about. I've been places, but to be actually investigating, that has not happened on investigation. But I have walked up in some places and thought, ooh, don't like the way, yeah, get the hell out of here.
yeah, and that's what we did. I mean, I told the team members, there were 4 other people, I said, need to leave now, and they did. And I left, and I told the the people that we're not going to come back. You need to, and I gave them what they need to do uh, before we come back, because if we come back there, someone will die.
Hmm.
That's just
Oh,
felt.
right. Well, I mean, and I get that because at Graceland, I felt like that night, I mean, and Jess, and I'm sure hopefully other team members are out here watching. I don't. Well, I mean, Tom, you've been out there with me in the field too. I don't scare easy. I kind of have the attitude. I read one time that a witch isn't afraid in the woods in the dark because she knows she's the meanest thing out there, and I was like, that's definitely me. So I try to walk around with that attitude. But that night at Graceland, I felt like if I did not leave the room, get out in that moment, I was gonna die. Now, did I feel like it was evil? No, but it just like it sucked the life out of it was the weirdest. That's the weirdest sensation I've had on investigation.
Terry, this presence, I would say, sucked the life out of me. I had to get out of there, and I couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Well, it's good that I mean, and that's we're all about Tom. Spirit is very much if you ever feel in danger or it doesn't feel we have a shutdown mode, and everybody knows if somebody says shut down, it's get the hell out.
Well, that's also caused from a pre-investigation summary of your investigators. You always
Right,
look at it and say, "All right, if this happens, this is what you do."
right.
Oh,
Or like Jesse Wilson said, told to leave. We were told to leave at Graceland. Now Jesse, my daughter here, she's like a team member when needed, and she will come on and watch our live feeds, especially for live, so she can see in other rooms when we're not in there. She was actually at Graceland with the first investigation, and that we had the SB7 box, and it told Jess. I'll let Jess finish telling the story there.
yes, that leads into one of the times that I did, in fact, turn around and tuck tail. This was the first time I had been to Graceland. And I was holding the spirit box. I think Jesse had my phone and was live streaming it. And we walk upstairs, and in the upstairs of Graceland, there's at the very top of the stairs, there's a room. In that room, there's a closet. In that closet, there's another closet.
Oh
It's
God!
like closetception. So, and we no, they didn't even know the other closet was there at first because the first closet was so full of stuff. Well, we were walking towards the closet in a closet, and out of the spirit box, clear as day, it says a man's voice, "Leave now." We left. We
Oh
turned
yeah.
around. We tucked tail. Now I did go back, but I ran first. Jesse threw everyone out of the way in order to leave. So, oh, that actually goes hand in hand with answering Cade's question there. What's the most interesting investigation we've been to or the most notable? That was one of the ones for me because we had such an active presence that night.
Well, let me tell you. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. As far as my opinion on spirits is, they want to communicate with you. They want to talk to you because one of two things: they don't know why they're spirits, or they're just hanging around. And
I agree 100%. I think that too. I think it's just like a kid trying to get your attention in most cases.
yeah, and that's very, very true. And uh, if they want to talk to you, let them talk. You know, how many people do we have on online? Do you know?
Um, can you just tell us how many we got
We've got
viewing?
we've got five right now.
We
Okay,
got 5 right now.
the biggest thing that I've seen in investigations, and I corrected a team a long time ago, about a year ago. You don't tell people or spirits to say, talk to this machine. They don't know what the hell a machine is. So talk to the lights, talk to this, talk to that,
Right.
or just speak to me. And they typically will do that. Now, as far as machine to enhance their voice, as far as I'm concerned, and Terry, don't get mad.
Oh, I won't.
I'm still kind of out with that. I'm not sure about that.
Well, and Tom, us too. That's why we don't ever use it as evidence. We will use it to see if anything happens, but as far as actual, client, this isn't solid evidence. Never,
Oh, that's
never.
no, yeah, yeah, and you're correct, Terry. You're very correct. So, but there again, my estimation of the spirits is typically, if they're non-demonic, they just want to communicate. They just want to either play with you or talk to you, one or the other.
Right, right. And Jesse Wilson, I do agree. I think, especially with all that stuff. I mean, y'all, we're talking this. This is a huge house, and it's got four or five outbuildings, and everything is full. I mean, full of some furniture, dishes. The
I'll,
pre
I'll
one
come.
of
I'll come see it.
Yeah, one of the previous owners, I guess, just went around and bought stuff from estate sales. So there's,
Good Lord.
pictures, I mean, just you would not believe. I mean, we've been cleaning this place out since last August, and we are still diligently cleaning stuff out.
Yeah.
And that'll kind of flip me here a minute to Jess, if you want to talk about our upcoming event at
Oh, yes, yes.
you mean just I will throw out there again. Spirit makes no money when we do these fundraising kind of thing. It is for equipment because the more and now I'm not talking all this fancy. We want basic, digital voice recorders, things that we can put in people's hands.
Yeah.
That's going to give us solid evidence. So now I will let Jess go and flip to our little fundraiser that we're doing at Graceland.
Oh, yes. I gotta take this shovel out. Okay, so yes, we are actually on November the 12th at 9 p.m. I think we're going to be meeting at 9 p.m. But it's on Friday, November the 12th. We're doing it for a very small number. I think we decided on what, six? Six at the most. We've sold two or three. Two with a possible three. Um, but we are actually going to have people come out and join us at Graceland. Now the tickets are a little more expensive because this is a place where we have a lot of activity, and this is to help us start putting in full-time webcams to monitor the mill. That was a big thing that we're trying to focus on. Um, but we're going to go out there and we're going to take some people with us for an overnight investigation, and it is $40 a ticket. And every bit of that, none of it goes in our pockets. It all goes to our equipment fund so that we can get some K2 meters. We can get um, the webcams to do the.
I'm muted. Sorry, I get my mute. The webcams for the grits mill are like number one top priority now because of the activity that's been reported out there. We've been told by numerous people that work and visited out there. There's a lady in white that they see on the second floor. This is the holy grail, y'all. Spirit wants to get this lady in white on camera so we could share it with the world. And they also say that you can hear the mill. Now, this mill is operational. They still make grits, and Tom actually got him some grits from the mill down there.
I did.
And they're still operational. And every day you can go in there and they'll turn it on for you, show you how it works. But they closed that dude at 5 o'clock. There's nobody in there at 5 o'clock unless Spirit's in there. They have that campers hear the mill running, men down there banging equipment, have machinery and stuff. So again, putting 24/7 Wi-Fi cameras down there so we can monitor and catch something. And the bridge, y'all, I can't even tell you how creepy this thing is. It's like stepping into a different dimension after 2 o'clock in the morning. And unless you're staying in the park or you have access through Spirit, you cannot be on that bridge, after the park closes. So, um, Jesse, you just asked if anyone's passed away there. Oh yeah.
Terry, let me ask you a question.
What's that, Tom?
Actually, two. Uh, do we know why the lady in white is there? Has anyone spoken to her? Has she spoken to anyone that we know of?
Interesting that you asked that. We've had, in fact, one of the men. I don't want to give his name out, but if he's watching, he knows who he is.
That's fine.
That's going to the fundraiser at Graceland Friday night. He actually heard in real time. I believe it was a woman's voice. At the same time, he heard it like in his ear. And of course, he was a paying tourist at the Grits Mill. He was one of them. I was excited that
Right.
they got real activity. At the same time, he heard that in his ear. Jess actually experienced, felt something. There was a shift in the room that she knew in that same moment. So we don't know if that was the lady in white. Um, I think those people were on the first tour that first Friday, or Saturday. I'm sorry. This last tour that we did, the people came from LaGrange, Georgia, and they had a really good tour because it was just the two of them. So
Yeah.
I mean, they were just like part of the team. That was more of an actual investigation,
Yeah.
and that gentleman also heard a woman come right up and whisper in his ear, and we had a guest investigator with us. It was, a friend of mine that we didn't know. We had some people were sick and had a problem, last weekend. So I had someone come out and assist us. And another Jess. I'm surrounded by Jesses. Her flashlight was, one of the click ones. It's not a twisty. It was a click, and it clicked on, and Jess Beauregard here was standing right there next to her and seeing that she did not turn it on herself. It clicked on by itself.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
she actually I've got a little crystal tower here. Well, I'll use this. You know, this is, we'll say that the pointy part is the front. She had her hands all the way up towards the actual lens and the light, and the button was on the very back. There was no part of her hand that was anywhere near it, and it had clicked and turned on. And I looked over because, and she looked down at it and looked at me, and but no, no, she never touched it.
Yeah, and then like I said, the gentleman heard a woman whispering in his ear. So, like Jesse Wilson said, apparently there is a woman that likes to whisper in ears up there. I would like to have you or Matt, for a team investigation, not a public. Let's get some of our guy members,
Yeah.
spirit members up there and see if she'll communicate with y'all.
Now, let me ask you this. Uh, did that person that she whispered to, did he say what she said?
The guy last Saturday, didn't he say it was hey or hi or hello, or it was just and I think it was kind of the same with the first guy, a hey there, or I'm surprised he's not on almost his name again. Um, Mr. N, you know who you are. If you're out there, pop in and tell us what she's. Tom, we've had so much going on, trying to. We
Uh,
did the haunt at the Grits Mill, we were part of their hayride, and then doing the tours. And then I did the Witches Ball in Birmingham. Let me go ahead and plug them. The biggest Halloween party in the Magic City of Birmingham, Alabama. So I worked the ticket booth down there. So I had a busy October. So we're gonna get through this evidence at the Grits Mill, and we'll be getting that stuff on our page. And of course, the team after the meeting tonight, that's going to be our home base, and we'll be able to go in there and have a key, good to go in and investigate whenever we want.
let me
So
let me ask you this: what about the two eminent investigations that you have in the queue right now? I think there's two. There's one, if I can mention the museum, and there's
right,
and there's another one too, perhaps that they said that perhaps they have some paranormal activity in their building.
Right, right. We do what it was mentioned tonight, as we said in the beginning. I went with this proposal and the big check, which $575 for us was huge. It may not be a lot to some, but for us was huge to turn over to this park today.
Never had
So,
anything like that before, I don't think.
right, they've never had anything like that, and they were thrilled, with it too. Um, but yeah, we talked about our plans and what we would like to do, and after the mayor had me speak and tell because I said I don't want to interrupt you, man. I just wanted to give you the check and give you the proposal and y'all talked, and he's like, well, no, tell us what you got in mind. So I did, told him what I had in mind, and he said that they were going to talk about it, and then they really liked it, they appreciated it. And then there was a lady that I guess she's over the museum,
Uh-huh.
and she said, have you thought about doing the museum? And I said, well,
Oh my!
actually, yes, actually we have. I said, one of my guys on the team is itching to get into the museum. And she said, told me a couple of things that they've heard, seen, felt, experienced. And I told her what we would like to do is, let's let everybody get through the holidays. They've got a bunch of stuff going on in Childersburg, Alabama,
Yeah,
through the holidays. And so I told them, let's get through the holidays and we'll discuss. And I told them, the team, we will go in first and investigate. And if we deem that there's any activity and the city of Childersburg wants to open that up and let the public tour it, we will be happy there again to be the resident paranormal team to make that happen for them.
right. Well done. And actually, if there's activity, then well, if you want to open it up to the public, fine. But I probably would clarify that with the mayor and his compadres.
Well, that's what we did talk about, Tom. I told them when the ladies asked me about it, I told them we would want to take the team in because that's what they were asking. They were pretty much offering, oh, can we do the museum? And I said, before we, went that far, the team would want to make sure that there was activity there. And, I think we would have to definitely limit that, more so than we do
Right.
the mill. I would probably, if we are going to be the host, of the tour, then in a place like that, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable with more than 4 people. My team,
Yeah.
or us and 4 people,
Yeah.
because that we wouldn't anything get out of hand. That's a museum. We wouldn't want anything to happen in the museum. So we would definitely limit if and totally up to them. I'm all for them just letting us in. And Jesse Wilson is asking if we can do her yard. Whatever she just did there, I
That
can
was me.
see. Oh, you can see that. Okay.
Can I ask,
Um,
what is the significance of the museum? Is there something special that happened in Childersburg that we need to know about?
well, Tom, we need to get into and start looking at that. Now, I do know that Butler house was brought in. It's like a Sears and Roebuck house.
Right.
It was brought in on a train and they built it right there. Now, from what I think it was Mr. Ron, was it Jess that told us, to his knowledge, no one died there. There was nothing significant like that. But I think possibly, if there is, and I'm going to say big if there is activity there, I would suspect that, it's either going to be something residual from the property or when they restored it to, bring it back to what
Right.
it looked like for the original and brought in antiques.
Okay.
Now, I know a lot of people think that things are not haunted. You know, that's going to flip me to another thing that Spirit is doing. And I know that we're 10 o'clock, so we're running out of time here.
Actually, that's
Um,
not a bad thing.
I don't think we have a show following us. I guess that things will come and kick us off and we could run it on Spirit if we can, go much longer. But I will say this quickly. something new that Spirit is starting in 2022. But we are Southern Paranormal Inspection Research Investigation Team, y'all. So what that means to us is we research and investigate and inspect as much as we possibly can. So we are now wanting to study haunted things. We want to see, are things really haunted? So if you have something and you think is haunted, send it to us. If you want it back, all we ask is you send, pay your postage to get it back and we'll investigate it, however long it takes. If you want it back in 3 days, we probably can't do that. But if you want it back, in a month or a few months or something, give us time. Because, sometimes you might have to investigate something for months, especially on these haunted items. I've heard, when I don't know. I've myself not come across anything haunted that I'm aware of, a haunted object. So we want to see our object actually haunted. So send us the object and let us investigate and see. But like I was saying, I know some of these museums that do that stuff. They say that sometimes they'll have to put these items up for months before they'll perform and do what they say they do. So
Well, and haunted things are just odd, anyways. Places, things, it doesn't matter. I mean, look at Graceland. It was always a little crazy, but the minute renovations started, the house went insane.
right, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what Terry, you told me that it just after the renovation, it went stupid. So, and by the way, Terry, everything I've seen so far, except the first document, you've been very much on point as far as your legal documents, and I applaud you for that. Um,
Now they did. I told them tonight that I had all the waivers that I had the client
yeah,
sign,
yeah,
and I told them that that wasn't our best one. It was kind of a rush thing. We'll work on it for the upcoming 2022.
yeah,
If they agree with everything, then we're gonna make it a lot better than that first one was. But they did ask that I told them tonight I had them and I'd be happy to bring them and they can put them on their files, just in case somebody tries something stupid 6 months down the road and say, you know, I got possessed when I
yeah,
investigated the grits mill. So,
Ah.
um, I'll make a copy and we'll scan it and put it in our files, so to speak, and we'll make a hard copy and we'll give them the original to keep in their files.
Now, Terry, have you talked to after the fact, or you plan on talking to folks as far as the other investigation there at God, how can I? Well, the lodge. Let's put it the lodge.
Actually, yes, they approached me tonight, and I was going to, of course, I was at that board meeting from 5 until 6:30 ish.
Right.
And then I had to run home and get my equipment, get over here to Jess's and stuff. So I have not had time to communicate with anyone on this. So everyone live here on Facebook is hearing this. We're not going to say exactly what the lodge is at this point because we don't want somebody going out there and,
Amen.
un-
I know.
undermining us. Um, but there is a place that they've asked me about, and I think Jess just had surgery yesterday. And Tom, I don't know if you caught that part of the show,
No, I didn't.
but when she is okay, I am told that they would like to meet with us on either a Thursday, a Saturday, or Sunday. But pre-investigation, go talk to them. Get the logistics done and then we can set up and investigating that.
Well,
So Tom is, we're praying, sending blessings and everything to Tom as well. He's had some health issues too. So we want Tom well so he can get back on the road and get back over here with us. Tom is, I don't know if I said, from Atlanta, Georgia. And we have most of our investigations are in this area, but we've gone to Louisiana, we've gone to Florida. We'll go anywhere if our budget allows for it to go. But the big thing right now is I want my team to all get healthy so we can all get together and do these things together in one location.
Yeah, amen, amen. I appreciate that.
So I think we are. It is 10:05. We have gone over our time. Thank you everybody for joining Alabama Skeleton Key. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I hope we didn't bore you to death. And like us, follow our page.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
my
Follow
bad.
our page. Follow our page. Get in our group, our Facebook group. You want to friend us, hate us, like us, whatever you want to do. We appreciate everybody for being here, and I'm gonna turn it back over. They went the little husband, Jess's little husband. Did y'all see him? I'm gonna turn it back over to Jess and Tom to say goodnight. And again, y'all, all my love and everything to the two of you to get well and back on the road investigating.
Before you leave, I was questioned about my history. Terry, if you like, I will show you my bar card. I will show my flight log from my military history. I've got over almost 7,000 hours of flight time, but I was chastised by that, by you know who. So if you want a copy of it, I'd be more than happy to give it to you.
Unmute me there, just Tom. I have never doubted anything that you have said about your, career. Your. Uh, I know, you got no reason to make things up, and just for the record, can I just? This is kind of a hidden joke between Tom and I, but can I just tell everybody, if you're a United States citizen, you do have to have a passport to go to England. There's there's no other way around it. You do have to have a passport to go to England.
And you can't spend U.S. money. You have to have sterling.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta get that money changed over to their currency. So just little. So, I guess there's some folks in Alabama, y'all. I am not bashing Alabama because y'all, I live here, but there are some people that just aren't that smart. So just anytime we can throw something out to help somebody learn something, we're gonna do that. Now I'm gonna kick it to Jess, y'all. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Terry.
Yes. I want to say that next time it'll be much more back and forth. Though I just, with the mics echoing the way that they were, I just kind of stayed quiet because it's really hard to know exactly when to mute someone else because you don't know when they're going to talk. So that kind of threw us off. But we'll definitely be much more back and forth, less. Now that I know that I can test this without actually fully going live, we
Hey,
can actually
let,
test early and
let,
get it
let
working.
me ask you a question. How many viewers do you have right now?
Wilson there about her haunting. Yeah, we don't think that someone has to die there to haunt.
Oh yeah, and we want to acknowledge what Jesse said just a few comments back, that someone doesn't necessarily have to die on the property to haunt it.
Oh
We
no.
don't think so, anyways. But another thing about the area that the mill and everything is built on is before it was the mill and everything, it was Native American land. So I don't know. I think there was a village somewhere near there, and that was a well used trail. But yeah, so no, somebody doesn't have to die there.
At the mill, there was at least two deaths that were documented, but at least two.
Do y'all want to continue for a minute? Do we need to kick it off the Things Network? Howard, I can see you on. Do we need to kick this off the Things Network and just tell people to go to Spirit or YouTube? I mean, we can wrap it up, but I know it's 10:09, and I know everybody's on a time limit there.
Yeah, I say we probably go wrap it up. I'm starting to get a little extra sore.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll if we missed any questions, we'll go back through the comments. We'll try to hit on that next week. So again, thank y'all. Thank you, Jenny. We appreciate you joining us. Be with us next Thursday.
Same time, same place.
Night, guys.
Night.
Night, Y'all have a spooky week.